They were boosted when Dermot Early was deemed fit enough to take his place at centre field, though there was little he could do as his side were caught cold after a minute when Bradley's free dropped short, with Wilkinson showing the predatory instincts. When Owen Bradley landed this point after 8 minutes, Derry were up by 5, but the visitors yet to get off the mark. But this Eamon Callaghan point and a string of placed balls from Johnny Doyle slowly brought the visitors back into contention. Derry were struggling to get to grips with a strong wind. Enda Muldoon, their third unsuccessful free taker of the first half. No such problems for Johnny Doyle though. He put Kildare ahead for the first time in the 23rd minute. 6 unanswered points for Kildare. Derry needed to stop the rot. Declan Mullins landed their first score for almost 21 minutes before Owen Bradley and Pádraig O'Neill traded points to send Kildare in leading by 1 with a half-time score of 8 points to a goal and 4. Johnny Doyle and Mark Lynch swapped scores in the opening exchanges of the second half before James Keele levelled the scores for the fourth and final time as the Kildare juggernaut began to move into top gear. Playing into a strong wind didn't seem to hinder the Lily Whites in any way, with a series of fine scores from play. One of Flaherty's perhaps the pick of them. While at the other end, Derry were looking toothless in the face of some expert Kildare defending. In fact, their defenders were so much to the fore that fullback Hugh McGillen was afforded the freedom of Celtic Park to head forward and fist this effort. Mark Lynch's point brought Derry back to within 4 points, their first score for 17 minutes, but that was as close as the home side would come. But any hopes of a revival were ended moments later. All too easy for Eamon Callaghan, corner forward firing into an empty net, making the score 1-15 to a goal and 7. Before Alan Smith pounced for his 5th ever championship goal to a 2-17 to 1-9 win, the first ever victory on Derry soil for Kildare.
I'm happy with it, I have to say. Some great displays in the full back line again. Half back line great too. You can't really sort of complain. Derry have quality regardless. Division 1 team. And it was a big step up, and the fellas stood up to it. And but we have another week now to get ready for the next one. No matter who we get, it's going to be another tough one.
So much for the sunny southeast. High winds and the heavy rain meant the first championship meeting between these sides in over 100 years would be a day to forget. Cork played with the elements in the first half and raced into an early lead, thanks to this point from Daniel Goulding inside a minute. By the 18th minute, they were 5 up. The pick of the scores, this effort from Graham Canty, wearing 3 but playing at centre-back. It was one of the moments of a disappointing encounter. Wexford rarely threatened in the opening period. Wing-back Adrian Flynn scored their first of the game in the 19th minute. But all was not lost. A late rally which saw Eric Bradley and Kieran Ling reduce the arrears to just 4 at the break gave the home support a glimmer of hope. But the second half was a truly forgettable experience for the 6,700 souls who turned up. Wexford had the wind at their backs, but their lack of discipline presented Cork with 3 early frees, which were all converted. Those scores, along with this point from John Miskela, put the Leesiders in the driving seat once again. Matty Ford reduced the deficit to 7 points in the 10th minute. Great score, but believe it or not, we didn't see another effort on target for another 29 minutes. There were opportunities like this one for the adventurous Graham Canty, but the weather and some wayward shooting meant it was a frustrating afternoon for everyone concerned. Substitute Ben Brosnan grabbed a late consolation score for the home side, but it was Kieran Sheehan who sealed a 12 points to 5 victory for Cork. They're safely through, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
Conditions were terrible, just absolute wind and rain and that, and it was difficult for everyone. But I think it was a good, hard game. Both teams fought it hard, and it was good from our point of view. It was very competitive, and then hopefully stand to us going forward.
I know you've been hinting maybe that this might be your last year. You're now out of the championship. Is it a bit too early to make a final decision, or have you decided what you're going to do from here on in?
Today was about the team, so I'm not even going to talk about it, think about it, or do anything about that today. We're all, it's just all, we're all too down to even think about anything like that. It's just teams, players, coaches, selectors, water carriers, everybody works so hard for championship football, and when you lose, it's just such a blow, because you train prepared to win, and losing is just it's a horrible thing.
All right, well, after the qualifiers there, they've been using